logistics. Companies today are under immense pressure to create faster, cheaper, better, and more secure software than ever before. Open source software is the key. It allows developers to spend time creating something amazing rather than reinventing the wheel every time they code. Today, there are more lines of great code to choose from than can be counted. Actually, we do count them, but that's another story.
I just want to know, what is Foss? I mean, I guess that's the acronym, we call it Foss, right?
That's correct, Kyle. So one of the things that I think would be a great idea to do as we go through this course is to have 3 words in mind, and they are copy, modify, and distribute. These are 3 key rights that are implicated with regard to Foss. Now, we're going to go into that a little more deeply later, but what we're talking about is Foss being software that it is free to copy, modify, or distribute. Not free as in no price, but free as in the availability to copy, modify, and distribute.
Okay, and so this is for attorneys. What kind of issues, why is it relevant to attorneys, what I'm asking, and what kind of issues they run into?
Well, if you have your client who's an entrepreneur, for example, they might be working with Foss. Some of the most commonly used forms of Foss today involve the creation of smartphone apps, the creation of video games, and Foss also has a great deal of potential in open source robotics. The key aspect of Foss is that the code, that is the source code, that is the, let's say, expression of how to run the program, is freely available. So to give you a great example, imagine an architect. An architect creates a building, and you can go to the Department of Buildings and you can pull up the blueprints. And when you do that, you can pretty much recreate the building. Hopefully the architect copyrighted the plan. With Foss, one basic tenet of the licenses that attend Foss programs is that the software code is freely available, and it's okay to disseminate it, copy it, and modify it, depending on the license. But we'll get into that a little bit later.
Right, and so for example, if I wanted to go in and I wanted to create, and like I see one of my favorite apps or something like that, and I wanted to create the same thing, I'd be allowed, and that's what somewhat of what we're dealing with a little bit. You can go in there, look at it, and then create the same thing, right?
I'll give you a great example. We all know about the Windows operating system.
Right.
We all know what a Mac operating system is. Well, there's also a Linux operating system. So that was based on free open source software. Originally it was developed in the 60s, and little by little that source code has been made available to all kinds of software engineers and tinkerers everywhere. And we have an operating system that can run a device such as an Android phone, and those types of devices run on free and open source software.